Hello, sports fans. Larry Allen here at the KGAS Studios and Scott Surratt alongside the head coach and athletic director at Carthage High School. Well, the Bulldogs come to the end of the regular season, and we go over to Kilgore. Kilgore, the spot where the Bulldogs lost their last regular season game. That was way back in 2016. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but let's go back to last Friday night, senior night. Boy, I tell you what, a bunch of seniors recognized, 31 football players, and then managers, bells, folks who run the scoreboard, bunch of folks recognized. Big night. And for the sixth straight time, the Bulldogs knock off the Henderson Lions 34-14. Good win, Scott.
Oh, it was a great win. It was a great night, recognizing our seniors and everything. But it was a great atmosphere, great night for football, and good weather and everything. It was just a really, really good night. We could have played better, but we could have played worse, and we played well enough to win pretty handily and move on.
All right, let's talk about some of your MVPs. Rayvon Ingram, 15 tackles, 1 sack. That's a huge night for him.
Yeah, he's played great. Now he really has. He's had to pick up the pace, and when Kip has gone out, and other linebackers have played well, but he's definitely our leader over there, and he's really picked his pace up and played well.
Kel Williams, I tell you what, I think those contacts are working. 5 receptions, 95 yards. He was the offensive MVP.
Yeah, he played great. He made the big play early in the game, and we kind of bogged down there and ended up kicking a field goal. But he made a great catch on a post, and then he made some other competitive catches that were very good.
All right, I want to ask you about a couple of calls that were pretty close. One was we upended Caleb Medford up in the booth. We called it, it was a fumble. That's the way it was ruled. Up in the booth, it looked like he was down by contact, but that's not what the film showed. It was a fumble, wasn't it?
Well, it was a fumble, and, and they got it right. And you could see his arm up in the air, his right arm, he had the ball, and when we freeze it, we got a perfect angle on our angles. And, it could have been, they could have the officials could have missed it and called it down. But it didn't work out that way. They got it. It was right. There's no replay. It was a tough call, but and I know that Toole come over and he told us I ripped it, and he did. He was straight up in the air, and you can see what kind of athlete Medford is to be that high. And Rayvon flipped him and strip, and then Mason Bobo with a touchdown. It was a correct call, and then they made the correct call on ours on the goal line and could have missed it because nobody was close on Montrell Smith to the goal line. The officials wasn't close, so it was a guess. And but my whole deal is if you come up and hand it to the official, they don't ever miss that one. And if Montrell would have come up and handed it to the official, then we would have definitely scored and made it 38-7 at the time. And it's about what kind of game I thought it was at that point.
Okay, your observation: if you hand it to the official.
Absolutely. You get up with the ball, you pitch the official, that's what we always tell our backs or receivers, there's no chance in those guys missing a fumble or whatever. If you get up with the ball, they're not going to call you there's no chance of them making a mistake on that for us.
Now, for the fans that were not there, that was a throw to Montrell Smith. Looked like he was going to score, and the ball came loose very close to the goal line, and they called it a touchback, didn't they?
They did. Their guy got it, and they called it. He nailed it and called it a touchback, and they could have easily called it a touchdown. And but I think they got it right, and but they could have easily called it a touchdown. But like I said, if he comes up with that ball, if he holds on to it, he scores. His body lands 3 or 4 yards in the end zone, and so it was unfortunate for Montrell and us at the time.
All right, I've got something I want to ask you to perhaps respond to. This was the article in the Henderson newspaper after the ball game. This is a quote from Phil Castles, the head coach. The biggest thing was the way the kids carried themselves tonight, played with great effort and emotion, and played tough all the way through. The leadership that these guys demonstrated both prior to the game, on the field, and in the locker room, and on the field and in the locker room. Cheap shots and some other things that went against us, and some calls we felt like were not in our favor. Our kids kept their composure. What do you think?
Whatever he wants to say about his program, and to get I don't know if there's, I don't want to call it excuses or whatever. I don't know ever how you get your program going, but the cheap shots is, I made our staff go look at. Of course, one of our coaches came in and read it to me, and so we looked at it really, really hard, and see who cheap shots both ways, and we don't want to count on who had the most cheap shots. I'll say it that way. And but it's a rival game, and as things happened, and we had one chance maybe on tape, and that's when their guy was running on the sideline, and maybe Rayvon maybe not heard a whistle, but their kid didn't stop and kept running, so he tackled him on their sideline after he was down 4 or 5 yards, just because he got up running, and so. I don't want to get into whatever whoever says, but really we kind of take it personal when you're telling us we're taking cheap shots, and we didn't take any cheap shots, so that's a false statement.
All right. Okay, let's go now to the Kilgore Bulldogs, so tell us about Kilgore this year, Scott.
Kilgore's got a lot of talent. They're very big in the offensive line. Their quarterback, they're trying a little different, trying to throw the ball a little bit more. And, he's a big, probably 6'3", 6'4" kid, and a really strong arm. They throw it to number 11, 22, and one more. I can't think of his number, but he's a good player. And then their tailbacks are, 21 and 8, very fast. They get out in the opening. We're going to have problems catching them. So they've got plenty of talent, and defensively, you got to start with number 94, the D lineman. He's been starting since a sophomore, and he's trouble, and he's a very, very good player, and so we got to handle him. And then, their linebackers, 22 plays both ways, and then the corners 3 and 31, and then 13's the safety. 13, 11 safety, but 13 will hit you now. He loves the game of football, and he runs the ball and plays very hard. And when he gets there, he looks like he's really mad because he really will hit you. So I think they got a good team. They could be a lot better, have a lot better record than they do. And we got to play. We know we hadn't won over there. I hadn't won over there in Kilgore since I've been at Texas High. So it's. I told the players that we got beat over there in 2008, and then then we didn't play them for a little bit, and then we scrimmaged over there, but then we got beat over the last 2 times in district. So I challenged them. Let's go play well, win in Kilgore, and be undefeated district champions, and have some rhythm and get hot going in the playoffs. That's our goal. You have not won over there. Now, that first game would have been against Valerie. Is that right, Mike Valerie? That's correct. In 2008, that's when Cy Blacksher tore everything up in his knee. He tore his ACL, MCL, PCL, everything, and he missed 1 game. The guy's tough, and played the rest of them, and we won the championship. We got beat, and Cy got hurt early in the second half, and not saying that's the reason they beat us. I think they just outplayed us that year, and that was kind of the Dwight Smith coming out the second half kind of deal. He had a great second half, and we knew we had something at that point, and so we got better as the year went on, obviously.
Cy Blacksher, a tough kid. I've seen him out at practice some recently.
Cy's coaching with us now. We had an opening. Come up with one of our teachers, and we hired Cy, and so he's teaching keyboarding, I believe, and then he's coaching football for us.
My wife had a chance to visit with him the other day. She's subbing at the high school. I tell you, he's an impressive young man, isn't he?
He's very impressive. He's going to be a great coach, and he was a great player, great young man, great coach, and all the coaches say right now he's out dressing them like crazy up there. So he's a sharp dressed man.
That's exactly what my wife said. That's exactly what Beverly said.
He's trying to show up all our experienced coaches. They're not happy with him right now. I'm just kidding.
I tell you, watching him in practice, he's taking it all in, isn't he?
He is. He is.
And watching him closely.
He's watching, and he's getting more comfortable every day, and it's so different than playing and coaching, and and we do a lot more stuff than we did in '08. And of course, he did an internship with us in, I believe, 15. And so he's been with us, and he knows a lot about what we're doing, and it's been he'll catch up in a hurry.
Yeah, my wife was impressed with the way he dressed. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, moving on. Let's talk about volleyball.
Volleyball they're hot. They're 37-4. They play tonight against Gatesville in Fairfield at 6:30. Looking for them to stay hot and play well and come home with a victory. But man, they have done a great job, Coach Stewart and her staff, and they broke the school record over in Kilgore last Saturday with their 36th win. And now the record's 37, and hopefully we can keep going.
And for the first time, I believe, like you said last week in school history, a cross-country team going to the state meet.
Yeah, that's awesome. We recognized them last Friday on senior night, and it was a pretty cool deal. It was at half. We went over there and we shook their hands. The players did. It was pretty cool. And they compete Saturday. I believe it starts at 12 in Round Rock. So I'm hoping they do very well and place very high and go win a state championship.
All right, it looks like we're going to play Athens. There's a remote chance that that looks like they're going to be the 4th seed, a remote chance that Waxahachie Life would be the 4th seed. But I believe you made some arrangements with Athens. Is that right?
We have. He told me that he was for sure number 4, and we got to Jacksonville. We got Jacksonville Stadium that Friday, the 15th, I believe, and at 7:30. And if something else happens, I guess I don't know what we're going to do, because he's number 4, and he said there was no way. He said we'll be number 4, and I said okay. So we set everything up, and so it was a great venue.
Now, yes, for you fans who did not make it over to the opening game of the season, this is a different Tomato Bowl, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. I mean, the dressing rooms, it's just everything's first class, and from the press box to the field, the dressing rooms, everything. So we really enjoyed it, and I know walking off, we said, man, we'd love to play a playoff game here too.
Okay.
So it was there. It was either there or Lindale, and we kind of wanted to play at Lindale Thursday, and that didn't work out. And and Lindale's not hosting on Friday, and all their new press box and all their renovations are done, so it's very nice too. But we love the Rose Bowl. The new Tomato Bowl.
And you fans, I tell you what, you ought to thank Coach Surratt. He won a big flip because Carthage is the home team. That means they get some chairback seats.
We did. We did. We won the flip, so we're the home team. So just very fortunate.
All right, very good. Now tell us about the team health-wise, injuries.
Quan Brown's getting closer. Hunter Hill got bad news. Hunter Hill was fixing to start for us this week, and thought we had him back, and God bless his soul. And then he had a setback, and it looks like he's probably not going to be able to play anymore. And senior year, and he was a heck of a player for us last year, and we were expecting him to be back, into 2 to 3 games in, and then kind of set back, and now he's had another one, and good Lord, it's just not meant for him to play this year, but but everybody else should be. We may be Owens got banged up a little bit, but he's a good to go. Kylan Lister, Kylo, he'll be good to go. The rest of us are healthy, and Quan has been going in practice, and so he'll be a game time decision whether we see if he's 100% or not.
Is it tough to get the team up for a game like this, Scott? I'm thinking, we've already clinched the district championship. Tough to get them up for this one?
Well, I hope not. I hope it. You got to be great on the road to win, do something special, and that's what we keep preaching and preaching and preaching. And then, to be undefeated district champions is something else that we're trying to motivate them with. And but you got to play great at this time of year in all kind of weather, and it's going to be cold. And, so there's a lot of challenges. We're challenge our players, and, you got to be a mature football team. And we got a lot of seniors, and I've met with the seniors talking about, hey, we got to get this group ready to play. And, we wasn't real happy how we finished against Henderson. I think we got the big lead, and I don't know, we did, after the fumble from Montrell, I don't think we played very good, and so that was something that we had motivation in practice this week, because we've had our best practices we feel like we had all year, and now we'll see if we can follow that with a good football game.
And Kilgore certainly has an incentive, because they're not just playing out the schedule. They win, and they're in, aren't they? They're in the playoffs.
They win, they're in for sure. They'll be in if Henderson beats Van, but if Van beats Henderson and we beat Kilgore, then they're out. So they got a lot to play for. The only way they're 100% in is if they win. And if they win, they'll be the number 3 seed. So I believe that's right. Now, there's a lot of scenarios that could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
You and Coach Wood, though, you two are the senior coaches in this district, aren't you?
Yeah, we've been doing it a long time, and Woody and I are good friends, and we've never had any, harsh words or anything of that nature. We always play hard against each other, and they beat us, and we beat them. So we're looking for a good contest.
All right. Those are the words of Scott Surratt. Certainly hope you can make it over to Kilgore. As Scott said, it's going to be cold, but it's going to be a good one. And the Bulldogs will be kicking off at 7:30, and we'll be on there about 7 o'clock with a look at the starting lineups. For Scott Surratt, I'm Larry Allen. Have a great weekend, everyone.